Meet the Psittacosaurus, a small but fascinating herbivore from the Cretaceous period.
The Colour of Dinosaurs is the musical that wasn't even on my list when I made the first video, but once the mighty internet algorithm noticed that I was taking an uncharacteristic interest in musicals, it decided to bring it to my attention. The performance I saw was in Stratford, London, but the show first played in Bristol in 2023. Bristol University is home to the father of dinosaur colour research, Jakob Vinther, who was the first person to discover that melanin could be preserved in fossils. And it is this narrative that runs throughout this hour-long musical. Jakob actually stars in this show, and after explaining the job of a paleontologist, we are introduced to the other star, Dee the Psittacosaurus. We learn about how she might have lived and died, with a great Eutyrannus puppet chasing her into a river. Jakob then explains how the shapes of melanosomes imply colour, comparing them to sausages and meatballs. He then brings out some replica fossils, first the 200 million year old squid ink where he first identified fossil melanin, then Sinosauropteryx, and finally Psittacosaurus, with the reveal of Bob Nicholls' fantastic reconstruction towards the end. This all does a great job of explaining to children a potentially difficult to understand scientific topic. So far I've made this sound like a one-man show, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Jakob is joined by a band of 5 musicians who share their own personal stories about melanin and colour. The band's keyboardist, who also wrote most of the music, is Lloyd Coleman, who talks about having albinism, that is, an absence of melanin. Victoria Oruwari, one of the band's singers who lost her sight in childhood, shares how she can visualise colours based on sounds through synesthesia. One of the show's catchiest songs, I Didn't Know That About You, is a celebration of all the band members' unique stories. This also leads to the show's only real moment of conflict, where the band leader, Dom Quixote, laments not really knowing his story or colour before taking comfort in the fact that he brought everyone together and is valued by his friends. The Colour of Dinosaurs is a lovely story about both science and friendship, with some incredibly catchy tunes and a few laughs. I only have good things to say about it. So why isn't this the highest rated musical on the list? Well, fundamentally, I'm unsure if it counts as a true musical. It meets my original definition of a musical. There are more than 5 songs, there's a running narrative between them, and in terms of official release, this is one of the most accessible shows on the list, as you can listen to the entire album on Bandcamp for free, as well as download it for a fair price. The crucial difference between this show and every other one on the list is replicability. While you could easily cover many of the songs, it would be impossible to run this show with a different cast without completely rewriting it. This isn't a problem with the show, it just means that I can't fairly rank it as the best dinosaur musical when that's not what it set out to be. Given its uniqueness, I'm really glad this is the one show I got to see in person. And if you like listening to the soundtrack, I also recommend keeping an eye on the band's website and social media to see if they have any more performances in future.